If you ever get a chance, are you willing to become someone like Ayanokoji? I think most of us will be grateful to trade one of our kidneys just to spend a day as Ayanokoji, whether it's for flirting with your favorite girl, or just to feel the experience of having his T-Rex. However, in this video, let's try to see another side of Ayanokoji's life, because despite everyone glorifying how cool or genius Ayanokoji is, there is a sadder fact that is rarely talked about. For you who idolize Ayanokoji, maybe you want to be like him because of his intelligence, or maybe because of how he gathers all those top-tier beauty, but one thing you always need to keep in mind is the fact that all of it came with a price. We need to remember that Ayanokoji spent 14 years of his life in the White Room, and even though he get the entirety of humanity's knowledge and tremendous physical ability, what he lost is not less greater than what he gained. If you become just like Ayanokoji, you will lose two main aspects that put meaning in your life, which are emotion and ambition. 14 years in the White Room has put his emotion off as a form of survival, and 14 years of endless training has put him in the state of nihilism, where he believes there is nothing that really matters to pursue in this life. As you can see in the first volume, Ayanokoji only wanted an ordinary life, and all the things he gained from the White Room, he chose to hide it all. Despite having the ability to conquer the world, he chose to live as an ordinary high school student, because conquering the world has zero meaning for Ayanokoji. For a human being, we did something because we expect a good thing to happen to us. We study hard to get a perfect score in the exam so our parent would praise us. We tried really hard to compete because we knew the sensation of victory would make us happy. We also tried our best to look good to attract the opposite sex, simply because we knew it feels so good to be loved and admired. To make it simple, emotion gives us the reason to act, and without emotion, there will be no difference between getting a perfect score or just scoring 50 in every exam. And since the White Room also polished Ayanokoji's adaptability to the highest level, every challenge would be easily solved by him, so most of his life would only be filled with boredom. Everything you desire from Ayanokoji, such as being surrounded by women or becoming the top of everything, it doesn't matter for Ayanokoji, which makes it ironic because he was born with everything, but desires nothing in his life. You wouldn't be able to feel any love even if you wanted to, and you cannot even see anyone as an equal human being. So what awaits you is just a tasteless life, where the only difference is just whether you are hungry or not. Classroom Elite is a fictional story, and most of the time fiction doesn't portray the reality we live in. Even in the story, Ayanokoji in the early volume cannot be called living in the dream. He has a really emotionless face, and the only ones who talk to him are just the lower caste such as Ika and Sudo. It's rare to find someone like Kushida or Horikita in the real world, and even if they exist, your relationship will most likely just be a simple exchange of greetings every morning. I know it will be easy for Ayanokoji to become the center of attention with his abilities. But just like what I said before, without any ambition to compete or any happiness that comes from achievement, becoming a popular student would be no different than becoming a loner. For Ayanokoji who only use logic, trying to become popular is just a waste of effort that will often lead to trouble. So Ayanokoji's quiet life in the first volume is what you will have if you suddenly switch places with him. So far in the story, we have seen countless times how different Ayanokoji is compared to a normal teenager. He lacks common knowledge, basic emotion, and is having a hard time adapting to normal society. Ayanokoji manages to become a popular student because the story puts him in the spotlight, but if you found someone like that in real life, most of the time that person would be secluded and called a creep. However, let's just say you manage to somehow adapt to your surroundings and act good enough to be seen as a normal person. So what are you going to do after that? Study for university? You already knew everything. Just hang out with friends every day. You would only get frustrated by how stupid they are. Trying to score the sexiest girl in school, it probably works, but sex with her will be no different than with anyone else. Because for you she is no different than any other pest in your soul. To be able to continue living, you will need to have some kind of purpose, or at least one single goal that you cannot achieve in a single day. For Ayanokoji, it was the urge to experience a normal life, and a copium that he could taste defeat in the hand of Horikita. In the process, Ayanokoji developed a small nameless emotion that was suppressed in his time in the White Room, so he started to hope that his high school life had a meaning. Of course his conversation with Manabu played a huge role in this change. For the first time, Ayanokoji has something he wants to do, and since it's a pretty impossible goal to achieve, Ayanokoji has found a challenge for his unorthodox ability. That single purpose gives him a reason to keep going to school every day, and is also the reason he still becomes a functional human. It took 1 year for Ayanokoji to finally find a purpose, and he manages to do it thanks to the friends he made along the way. However, if we remove the fictional part of the story, someone like Ayanokoji most likely wouldn't survive in the real world. There will be no special exam that will put him in the spotlight, which means he will lose the reason to form any connection unless he is actively trying to. With that being said, he could still live an ordinary life if he wanted to, but he will surely need more time to find a purpose. ANHS forces Ayanokoji to connect with other people, but in the real world, what would happen most of the time is just a meaningless feeble interaction, repeating the same days over and over again without something to look forward to. In the worst-case scenario, Ayanokoji would graduate without even joining any friend group, and then he would lose contact with his classmates as they find their own lives. Ayanokoji could try to enter university, but I doubt it will have a different result compared to high school. If you still say you want to become Ayanokoji, you will need to prepare yourself for years of nothingness. You will need to endure being a lab rat for 14 years, and then spend another few years to finally find something that you think is worth betting your life for. With all the knowledge Ayanokoji has gathered, and his adaptability that could make him learn a new thing in an instant, I doubt you will ever find something that could pierce through your white room mentality. However, let's just say you could find a meaning in your life, and your emotions finally grow like a normal person. Then what awaits you is just a perfect life. You can get anything you want, and still love everything you do. That kind of scenario sounds like a dream, but you still need to get rid of your father, because without the white room, your very existence will never exist. Another thing that we need to think about is the fact that someone like Ayanokoji often ended up used by the others. His father treats him like a tool, and Shabashiro blackmails him for her own selfish desire, solely because he has the ability that other people are willing to trade their soul for. If he stops playing the fool, it's just natural that a lot of people will pay attention to him, and most of the time it's not really good attention. It's true that Ayanokoji might be a superhuman, but that alone means nothing in front of the bigger power. If he is considered a threat, he could be annihilated silently. And don't ever think you don't need to worry about it, because Atsuomi literally threatened Ayanokoji with it back in volume 12.5. The truth is, having an extraordinary power means you will be taken advantage of by everyone. Just like Ayanokoji, he will undoubtedly return to his father after he graduates, and whether he could take his father down or not will surely lead to even bigger problems. Once his ability is known to the people in the political world, the only paths for him are to just keep climbing higher, or to start a new life far from anyone who knows him. Anyway, whether you still want to be like Ayanokoji or not is still up to you, but Volume 0 made it clear that it is impossible to be like Ayanokoji unless you spent your whole life as a lab rat. However, you could still imitate Ayanokoji's goal, which is to become an ordinary student, and simply enjoy the beauty of ordinary life. You don't need to be like Ayanokoji to achieve what you want, because sometimes, failure and weakness are worth more than perfection.